kidding.
What are you doing? What is up, guys? Welcome back yet again to another week. And as always, we're here to keep it 100 with you guys. And always, your host,
Giselle.
and Victor. And this week, we have none other than our special guest. She's a key accountant of the key account executive for the New York Power Authority. Oh my God, that's a lot for me to say. April Contreras. Welcome.
Yes, and we went to high
Thank
school
you.
together. We went to high
Tell
school.
us what
Yes. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Giselle was the smartest person at our high school.
No, really?
At the whole
I
high
was
school.
not.
Wow.
First of all, I was not valedictorian or salutatorian.
In my mind and heart, she was.
Oh, thank you.
Wow.
You were too. You were too.
But were you even close? Like, were you up there? Like,
Giselle was in
I
all
mean,
the
I would get
classes.
100 in my regions, but
wow.
And she was all AP courses and killing it. So, and we played volleyball together. So
So you guys met in what, in 10th grade? Or
No,
ninth
ninth.
grade? Ninth
ninth
grade?
grade, yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
I was telling him because Gianna just went to her first go away camp. So but she had a phone. Like I didn't have a phone when I went to the camp with you, and I was telling her like, at least you have a phone. At least you get to take long showers. Like ours was like we had to take like 5-minute showers.
Yeah.
Me and Giselle went to Yale School of Forestry's summer camp program. I had to do it for another program that I was in, and I begged Giselle to come with me, and she graciously did. And we had a very real, live, outdoor experience.
I was telling them, I'm like, I think me and April probably ended up in a fight too. It was like, it was too much going on. Like, I remember I liked the talent show at the end.
Yes, no, it was a good experience. I always remember the forester guy that had like 2 fingers left. That's always.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and we had to pump our own water too.
So. Oh yeah.
But let me ask you, was it cold water?
We had to do the dishes.
Was it cold water, heated water? Like,
I don't remember.
I'm sure they had no heater in that.
It was probably cold. Yeah, I don't know if it was warm by the time it got to us. No, we were only in there for a few minutes, so I don't think it mattered.
Yeah, right. And she was texting me complaining because of the food, even though her menu was like, it sounded really good, but she was like, it didn't have salt and pepper, or I don't know.
It's like, well, just throw some on it. Like, you'll be
Jessa takes Sazon packets with her next time.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you should.
But before we get into more,
oh yeah, cheers.
So let's do a cheers. What you said, you have some margarita over there, right?
Margarita. We have some pina colada.
Pina colada over here.
Salud.
Salud. So, April, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know it's a broad question, but I'm sure you've been asked 1,001 times before.
Yeah, so I guess I can start from being in high school with Giselle. So I was living in the Bronx at the time, and I ended up going to Buffalo State College in Buffalo, New York. And I got my degree in electrical engineering technologies from Buffalo State. And then I got a job with the New York Power Authority as a project engineer. That was my first position. I was doing construction projects at that time. And now I've moved on to key accounts management. So instead of implementing the projects, I'm selling them. So
nice. So are you single, married, in a relationship, in a situationship?
I'm in a relationship.
Nice.
Boyfriend. Shout out to Antonio if he's watching.
Okay, he better hit a like and a subscribe.
No, he better give me a little heart if he's watching on Facebook or something. Throw some hearts out here.
That's good. So what is it that you do at the New York Power Authority? Because we know you're a key account executive, but
right,
people like us don't know what that is.
Like layman's
terms.
terms.
Yeah. So I guess the best way is like kind of to talk about the New York Power Authority a little bit, just as a company, as an organization. They've been around since the 1950s as a state authority. Usually, in most states, the largest electrical suppliers are privately owned. And in New York State, the New York Power Authority supplies about 30% of the power for the state, and we're a state entity. So, we're government run. So we have 16 generating facilities across the state. So 16 different, places where we actually make and create power. The largest of those being the Robert Moses Niagara Power Project, and it's right next to Niagara Falls. I'm sure you guys are probably familiar. It's the largest hydroelectric plant. So we harness the water from the Niagara River to spin turbines, and a whole bunch of electrical magical stuff happens, and we're able to produce 30%.
Oh, yeah, Antonio. Sorry to interrupt. He listened.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I mean, you said that there's 16 different plants?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Is it in 16 different counties? Like, do you cover counties? Like, how does it work? What sectors do you service, I guess?
So it's interesting because even though like the main bread and butter of what the Power Authority does is provide the clean hydroelectric power, they also provide clean energy services to the state. So those clean energy services are like energy efficiency audits. We'll go to your building, take a look around. We'll tell you like, okay, if you want to save energy and save cost, you can upgrade your boilers and chillers to new, more energy efficient boilers. You can change out your lighting to LED lighting. You can weatherize the building. You can put in variable speed drives. There's, new air ventilation systems. There's a lot of opportunity for buildings to save energy and therefore save money. So our goal is to go into other state agencies like SUNY schools, Department of Corrections. NYCHA is one of our biggest customers, the New York Housing Authority. These are all facilities that are in need of maintenance. They're in need of capital projects like a new roof or, so we kind of come in and help them save money on the energy side. Okay. And we pay for the projects through those energy savings, and then they can use that money to do real like capital investment projects. So even though the Power Authority does energy, we also do those energy efficiency services. And I'm a part of that smaller team that does that energy efficiency work. So before I was selling the projects, I was implementing the project. So like I was actually going in there, changing out the lights, changing out the boilers. And now I'm going and I'm talking to the SUNY campuses, and I'm talking to the Department of Corrections, and I'm talking to the city of Buffalo and the surrounding municipalities about how they can save on energy.
Okay. Nice. Do you ever get involved when there's a hurricane?
Yeah, so we do. So because the New York Power Authority is so large, we have we employ about 2,000 people in the state, and a large fraction of that are linemen. So we have the crews available to assist when there are emergencies, and whether it's down south. We had a really big effort in Puerto Rico. We were there for an extensive amount of time during Hurricane Maria. Oh, wow. So it really is a joint effort between all the different energy companies to give their linemen out, and they're union workers as well. So there's they're also getting recruited through their halls, not only through their companies. So
nice.
Okay. Like, did you wanna like continue, like, I don't know, like when you first started with the company, did you see yourself doing the role that you're doing right now, or
no?
Like, was there a specific role that you had in mind, like, oh, I want to do this eventually? Like, what were your thoughts when you came into the company?
So, just getting the engineering degree was a very big accomplishment for me. So, it was, that was my identity. And, I was April the engineer, so, but, being at a job for a certain amount of time, you start to get feelings about, your level of worth at the company, and the value that is being placed on you as opposed to your counterparts. And I started at the lowest level engineering position. It's, I think it was just my bad luck, and I'm working with a lot more senior people. So I was feeling like there was a disbalance in pay. So I decided to get my MBA. as a way for them to pay me more money, like, so I kind of went down that path. And once I completed my MBA, one of my coworkers that was in account management, who's now my manager, kind of tapped me and asked me, would you consider moving over to account management? We have a position that opens. And, it's funny because I told him, like, absolutely not. Like, I'm an engineer. Why would you ask me, And, I kind of went home and thought about it. And I'm like, okay, if I just put this effort into this MBA and it's opening this door and this new opportunity, like, how am I not going to walk through it, Right. And it's, it was coming with a pay raise. It was coming with, a higher salary as well. And, that's kind of what I was asking for. Right. So,
yeah,
I felt like I had to take the, just kind of take the leap of faith and go with it. So.
Okay. That's awesome. Was there anybody or someone out there who motivated you to become an engineer?
So I always did like a lot of math and science, like extracurricular programs. And, I knew that I wanted to do something with math and science. And I also knew that I wanted to be like in the top professions, and I think in my mind, that's doctor, lawyer, engineer. And engineering is the only one that you just need a 4-year degree for. You don't need to go to like, med school or law school. So it was really like, what am I going to put my effort into? Is it going to give me value? I wanted to have a skill. I didn't want to just have a degree. So, I just thought engineering made sense because there's just so much opportunity with engineering.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And you said you went to what school was it that you went for?
Buffalo State College.
Buffalo State College. And you did the whole 4 years there in the same college? I only ask because in Puerto Rico, there's like schools that allow you to start the engineering program and then you will finish it in a different school. Like
Right. Yeah. So some of the community colleges do that. I did all 4 years at Buffalo State. It took me a lot longer than 4 yeyears. I started in wildlife biology. I wanted to be like a vet or something with animals. And I just didn't like biology. It was like memorization and regurgitation. I didn't feel like I was learning anything new. It wasn't stimulating. And in changing from that, that major over to engineering, I had to take a new set of like prerequisites and, they were intense. It was like chemistry, physics, calculus, differential equations. So I had to focus on doing that for like a year or two. So it took me about 6 years to get the degree. And I took some time off as well.
That's, that the school, because I went to college in Puerto Rico. So the college that I went to over there it's known to be like the best college for you to study like any type of engineering. They did mechanical engineering, they did civil engineering, electrical, and computer engineering. And I got into the school, but I didn't know what engineers did at the time. So I was like, and I qualified with my GPA and College Board and everything. I qualified for a couple of those, I guess, bachelors, but I didn't go for it because I was scared of the math. I was scared of the calculus. I was scared of like failing those, and because of that, I didn't take the chance.
Yeah, and Victor, you're really hitting it right on the head. Like what I spend a lot of my time now trying to do is reach back and talk to different minority engineering societies at colleges and really try to like inspire them and just let them know that like it's possible, it's not, that hard. Like you can go to tutoring and ask the teacher and don't let like a couple of classes stop you from having like a lucrative career, I really feel like we can all put some effort into a couple of hard classes and, and come out on top. Like you don't have to be an A student. I was not an A student, and I'm still sitting here talking, to you about engineering. I failed classes in college. I struggled. I, begged teachers to give me a D. So, but it's important to me now to put like a different face to engineering, and not only a face, but like an understanding of like what the job is, and it really is a product and infrastructure job in my mind. You know, all the products that we're using every day, whether it's, you know, the toys from your kids or, you know, the things that you're using in your kitchen, the buildings that you're inside of, the facilities you're inside of, like there's an engineering component and aspect to all of that. Like,
Right.
you know, I interviewed to do product design at Fisher Price. I interviewed to do relay controls at Goodyear Manufacturing. You know, it's so various, and I think that's why it's hard for people to kind of grasp, because it is like, you know, it's everything. It's all the things that we interact with in our everyday life. You know, that somebody's engineering or managing or creating, you know, for our society. So
yeah, I feel like growing up, I didn't know much about engineering. Like in high school, I wasn't.
And you were in New York City, the engineer capital of the world. Like,
yeah.
In order to build those buildings,
yeah,
in order to build those subways,
that's what inspired me.
Up,
no,
like,
that's what inspired me living in New York. It's like, you know, everything is like someone built this, or this was all built by us. Like, this isn't, you know, our skills were given to us by God, but this was made by men,
Right.
you know, like all these buildings, all these bridges, all these, you know, amazing feats of engineering. And it's so much, it's everything, you know. It's like, I felt like there has to be a place for me, you know. And I chose electrical because I felt like there's an electrical component inside of the majority of those infrastructure or products that we're using. So I felt like I was going to have more reach and more opportunity in the electrical field. So
yeah.
And you know, that's awesome that you're trying to reach out to like minority societies in school and trying to like be that influence in like the younger community and the younger crowd, because they might have the same thoughts that I have. You know, maybe if I would have somebody like you back in when I was in college, maybe they would have, you know, changed the way that I was thinking and made me go for it. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that you're doing that and you're putting yourself out there to as an example, then that's amazing. And you know, you should continue to do
I was
that
the only I was the only female in my engineering program, in my cohort. So it's like I feel the pressure to give back. You know, it's like I want there to be more. And even as much as I outreach as I do, I always feel like, you know, if we could get them a little younger, you know, because like once you're in college, I feel like a lot of those people kind of have an idea, especially if I'm not talking to freshmen, you know. So I'm always trying to like, you know, get opportunities with like younger and younger students as much as possible. So
that's awesome.
That's good. So what does a regular day look like for you in your role?
So right now I'm doing a big street lighting project with a major town out here. They have 10,000 street lights. So we're in the middle of bidding that project. And, you know, even though I've kind of taken a back seat, I'm not in the engineering role, I still attend the meetings because my role is now customer service, customer satisfaction, right? So throughout the whole process, I want to make sure that the customer is satisfied with the product that we're giving them. And I'm also working on an upgrade at their ice skating rink facilities. They want to like redo the chillers there and use like a new system. So, you know, if I'm selling them a new project, I want to make sure that the current projects we're working with are going well and going smooth. So I had meetings with that customer today. And then I also will have meetings with my upper management about strategy and new products that they're trying to push. You know, we have a lot of update meetings. I have a lot of customers that have power allocations that have questions. So I kind of do like a dual role. So I sell products, but I also manage some, we call them power allocation accounts. So a way that the Power Authority gives back to the communities around the facilities where we generate power is that we give them hydropower for low cost. So, you know, it's to stimulate economic development in the area. And we have some major manufacturing facilities up here in Western New York because of that. So Moog, Praxair, Lockheed Martin, General Mills, Goodyear, GM. We have like some major facilities, and we, like I said, we supply them with power allocation. So I manage those accounts as well. If they have questions about their power allocation, our prices are going up. I don't know if you guys are feeling the
Yeah.
The pinch in your pockets with the energy
Oh,
costs.
but the
The
costs,
cost.
hell
Yeah.
yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
the AC been working hard
Yeah.
this summer.
Yeah.
Like,
So in New York State, this January, February, we hit like record highs for electrical costs, so because of natural gas issues, with
Oh,
the
Cody's watching.
war in Ukraine and all kinds of things. It's been really expensive. So the customers are feeling the
Yeah.
pinch, and they're reaching out and wanting to know what they can do, if they could get more cheap power from us. So I manage those accounts as well.
So you said that you
Nice.
work mainly like your customer service for your accounts, and I guess my question, and I think you probably just answered it, is like, who's your customer? It's like, is your customer like all these other companies that need,
Yeah.
have your service
Right.
some way somehow, and then they just reach out to you about, I don't know, some type of service or help or whatnot?
Yeah, so we have different requirements for different. We have a couple of different programs. The main one I deal with is the Western New York program, because I'm regional to the area. And the parameter for that is you have to be 60 miles around the Niagara Power Plant. So that's one set of customers, and then, like I was saying earlier, the other set of customers is like the other state agencies and towns and cities that I'm trying to sell those clean energy products to, projects to. And that's solar, that's EV charging stations, that's electrification of their municipal vehicles. It's a lot. We have a lot of different.
It's a broad service, basically, what you
Yeah.
guys provide. It's not just it's not just electricity. Like, I'm
No,
not just
yeah.
providing you power. I'm providing you
Right.
all of these other services. That
So we started with just electricity, and then as we evolved and our statutory authority to work with more customers has opened up, it's allowed us to provide these energy efficiency services to our customers, whether it be through the low cost hydropower or through the clean energy service, renewable projects.
Okay. Is that the only like clean energy that you guys produce? Is like the one with the Niagara Falls, or is there any other projects that you guys have?
So we're always working on R&D projects, internally, battery storage projects, solar projects. The new one is green hydrogen. So
Ooh.
hydrogen's usually produced using natural gas.
Mhm.
And there's excuse me, hydrogen's usually produced by, you have to like electrolyze water, but that process usually in the electrolysis process, it usually uses electricity made by natural gas. So instead of using natural gas, if we give them hydropower to electrolyze the water, then they can say it's green hydrogen because it's being electrolyzed by hydropower instead of natural gas, which is dirty. So
Interesting.
that's like the new push, because I don't want to get too nerdy in the conversation, but we're trying to get away as a society. We're trying to move away from carbon, or and natural gas, and nuclear, and all these like dirty energy. We want to move to clean, but we can't electrify everything. We can't put everything on the grid. If your wire right now is rated for 100 kW, and everybody on your block buys a million TVs, your wire can't produce more. It can't sustain more than 100 kW no matter what. You know what I mean? So as we continue to put more and more pressure or load on the grid, we're going to start hitting constraints. So green hydrogen is like an alternative for natural gas. And I think a lot of manufacturing companies and companies that are really reliant on natural gas are looking for an alternative outside of like solar and renewables that are adding to the grid. They want like a gridless solution, which green hydrogen might be. So TBD.
Where do you see I guess the whole theme of energy, like I guess your company maybe, or your industry, where do you see it going within the next 15 to 20 years?
So a lot of what's happening in New York State is really moved by legislature. So there's Build Smart 2050. There's the CLCPA, and it's all just different legislatures that has been passed to push different cities, town, municipalities, and agencies to reach goals. So it sets goals for these communities, it sets goals for the state agencies, and if you want to like continue to receive benefits, they're pushing them to meet these clean energy goals. So I think we're going to continue to see a push toward clean energy, and it's hard to say because we are a state agency, right? So we're political. So right now we have a Democratic governor who's pushing the legislation for us. So we're going toward clean energy. That's not to say that, I mean, New York State is, for the most part going to continue to be Democratic. I don't mean to say that's going to change, but if our president changes to a Republican president, they might not have the same power to push the legislation now that they currently do. So I'm always considerate of that change, that the political tides kind of like switching on us.
Well, I mean, politics has a lot to influence. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, in this, like you said, it's interesting to know that is part of like I guess a department of the government, or like a
and it's called an authority. Yeah. So
okay, because over here in Florida, everybody's private. Like I can think of the companies out here that provide the energy, and they're all private companies. So it's a different perspective of I guess doing business too, because you're part of the government. It's not you're not like a profit company, or private company.
Right. Yes. So, no, it's true. So I do want to say that it's a little complicated, but we provide power to the New York ISO market, which is like the grid system. We don't provide power to like residential customers. So that's still, all the residential power is still handled by private companies. Our power, a lot of our power goes to the MTA. It goes downstate in like bulk chunks of purchase power from us. So it's a little different. So we're not handling residential customers, even though people do complain to me about their bills.
They complain
you
about their bill.
Don't call me.
Like, April, my bill came too high. So what's it like being a woman in this industry?
It's not lost on me that I'm one of a few, but for me personally, I've always seen it as an advantage. I've always seen it as, because there's not a lot of me, or people that look like me, I'm gonna stand out, and people have a reason to look, and I'm gonna make sure that I'm shining when they're looking. And
I like that.
And it just I feel like it's I feel like maybe the women that have come before me and decades before me were dealing with more difficulties and more strife, and had to be like harder and really like pave that way, and I'm not saying that I don't, and I've never had an issue, but I've had great men. Everyone that's hired me and has promoted me has been a man, and and has recognized my skills and mentored me, and it's been a positive experience for me.
That's good.
And I hope that I can let other women know as well, right? Like that you can come here. For me, culture is a bigger issue than me being a woman and somebody being a man. So
okay,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
You're breaking the glass ceiling. You keep going. Don't nobody stop you.
Yep.
Shine bright. Now, were you always, like as a kid, that you always knew that this was the industry, or this was the career that you wanted to choose, or was there like an aha moment at a certain point in your life?
That you said I want to.
Or
no.
Or when did you get interested in it? Like when was it that you got interested?
It really was in college. I wanted to be a veterinarian originally, and
a veterinarian.
I'm like
Man, it's like
I
Total
know.
opposite world.
It is, but it isn't, right? Like math and science, I feel like are the core for a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of,
Oh yeah.
biology and engineering, and so I wanted to be a vet, and I applied for Cornell, and I had issues with my financial aid package, and I said forget it, and then I ended up at Buffalo State, so I was like, okay, well, I'll do wildlife biology because it's the
Because
closest thing to being a vet, and then I just I didn't like it, and I actually left college for 2 years,
oh wow.
and I lived in Florida for a year. I did the Disney program, and then I slept
Oh,
up.
so you're a college program student.
Yeah, yeah. I needed a way to leave college without telling my parents I was leaving college. So
Really? So you
yeah,
never
I was
told
like,
them
oh, I'm
that you
gonna
were
go do
out
this.
here?
I'll be right back.
No, they knew.
Oh, I was about to say, you
They
never
knew you
told
were
them that you were
here.
out here?
No. I mean, like, I told them I was going to the Disney program for a semester, and then I was gonna go back to school, and I didn't go back to, it was just a way to ease myself out.
Ah, okay, I got you. It
Yeah.
wasn't like a
Smart.
hard like I'm
Right.
dropping out of college. It's like
Right. And
I'm gonna chill for a semester.
I just needed to become an adult. I needed to have my own car and my own apartment. I wasn't satisfied with the dorm student living, in Buffalo. I needed something more. So I left. I did Florida for a year, I did New York for a year, and then I came back to Buffalo, and like looked at the program and my options of degree catalog, and I really chose electrical over mechanical too, because electrical is algebra based and mechanical is calculus based, so I was looking for the easy way out.
No, and I was just gonna ask you, like, did you think that you take in order for you to get where you're at right now, do you think that you had to take the conventional route? Or did you have to take like maybe like you have to explore yourself, like you just said, like maybe find what you truly wanted in the first place and find what your heart tells you to in order for you to actually like I guess to go for it.
Yeah.
I think that I don't want to say this in a hater kind of way, but I think some people are blessed with support and a clear path, and for me, life was a little bit more up and down and right and left for a little while. It wasn't a straight path to my goals, and it was more about just having perseverance and patience with myself, and knowing like this is gonna come. I knew I wasn't leaving college for good, and I wasn't gonna go back, like I knew it was going to come off that way, because that's the the stigma about leaving school and stuff. So but I knew that I wanted it, but it was going to look a little different than maybe some of my colleagues who did 4 years from 18 to 22, and now I'm working with like young 20-year-olds, as opposed to me starting at 30. So
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So do you have a plan or interest? And you said you did have a plan and interest in helping others, but are you centered in women, helping women become engineers or get into that field, or just in general Hispanic people, or what's your plan with that?
For me, it's really just a in general thing. I think poverty doesn't have a race, and there's people struggling in all demographics, and that that can use mentorship and assistance and help, and sometimes there's a little frustration when I'm not getting the Hispanic people ever. I'm like, damn, like what I gotta, usually the students are filtered to us through like a program or something that I've been involved in. So I would say this year I'm doing a mentorship program, and there's 2 Hispanic students in there. So I'm happy. It's a change from years prior. So
yeah.
But yeah.
You guys need to go to the University of Puerto Rico, the Mayagüez campus, and recruit from there.
And do some recruiting.
You're gonna get the top notch engineers from Puerto Rico, because Puerto Rico was or is the #1 exporter of professionals. Like we had our school was mad cheap back then. I don't know how much it is of credit now, but back then our credits were like $33 each.
Oh wow.
Super cheap.
I've never heard it under the hundreds.
Right,
Wow.
right. I don't know how much it is now. That's crazy, over 100. But it was like $33. Obviously, you had whatever financial aid you had, or whatever sport you had, and you got a scholarship or whatnot. But it was super cheap, so everybody had FAFSA. You know, everybody had the opportunity to go to college. And what would happen is, or what is happening is, that they would graduate, and then there's no jobs for them to fulfill in the island. So what do they have to do? They have to leave. They have to leave to the States. They have to.
Yeah.
I know a lot of. I have clients who have graduated from this college, you know, and they work for Lockheed Martin here in Florida. So it's like they mold them, they prepare them. You know, it's a 5-year program over there instead of a 4. So it takes an extra year to graduate, and then once they're ready to graduate, poof, they send them out here somewhere. So
it's the same here in Buffalo. You know, they call it brain drain. So it's like you're creating the intelligence, and then it's leaving your region. Here it's like we're in really close proximity to Toronto. We're in close proximity to New York City. The majority of my family still can't believe that I'm not back in New York City being an engineer, killing it, you know. So, and that's what the majority of people do, you know. So that issue isn't only, rare or happening in Puerto Rico. You know, it's happening in any places that have colleges, and they don't have enough economic development in their area to keep the students, you know.
Right.
So
and I guess, like, I wanted to ask you, have you ever thought about going back to New York? Is that a thought? Like, is that a possibility, maybe?
I mean, I don't see myself staying in Buffalo forever, but I don't see myself moving back to New York. You know, it was I'm proud to be from there. I'm proud to, rep the Bronx to the fullest, but leaving New York City really made me realize like what the rest of the United States is like. You know, I feel like we're kind of in a microcosm in New York City, and I thought that was like the world, and to leave and be like, oh wow, Hispanic people aren't predominant everywhere, like like, oh okay, so I feel like I've learned a lot of life lessons, and moving outside of that New York City, moving outside of New York City, and the rates and the prices there, to somewhere like Buffalo, it allowed me to be independent, and that's why I stood. I could get a job here, have an apartment, save money, invest, and I don't think those things would have been possible in New York City at that level, at that rate, at that time for me.
Yeah, so. It's very hard in New York City.
It'll be challenging.
You're living, well, I was living paycheck to paycheck in New York City.
Right.
No, but not only that, it's like everything's expensive.
Yeah.
Like your rent's expensive, your food is expensive, your Uber's expensive, your train ride's expensive, your car insurance is expensive. Like, it's like you have to pick and choose like what type of lifestyle you want to live versus when you step out of that, you probably have a little bit more flexibility. You might be able to spend an extra $100 on groceries or something. I don't know.
Or a couple of $1,000 a year on traveling,
Right.
Right.
Do you see yourself ever living outside of New York State?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I would like to live outside of the United States as an expat for a little while. So
that's awesome. Any countries that come in mind real quick?
Belize, Portugal, Mexico. There's a lot.
Interesting spot.
Portugal,
Belize?
I heard, is beautiful.
Oh yeah, but I heard there's a lot of economic opportunities in Belize right now, with real estate and all that. Any plans of real estate while you're out there in New York? Do you invest in real estate?
So I was in the market before COVID, and I have regrets about not being able to pull the trigger. And now post COVID, I'm back in the market, and
You could have asked me for advice, April. I would have
It's
told you to
a
pull
struggle.
the trigger. I would have been like, "Oh, do it now."
Yeah, no, the prices have gone way up.
The
from
interest rate.
COVID.
The
And the
interest
interest,
rate.
true.
Yeah,
Both of them.
yeah. So I'm still just trying to find the opportunity that's right for me. I'm looking for a 2-family home.
Okay.
I grew up with my parents living in an investment property, a multifamily home. So, I'm pretty familiar with the responsibility and what it takes. And, I feel pretty comfortable with starting with a 2-family home. So
I'm sure they're beautiful there in Buffalo too. Like
yeah.
the I don't know, for whatever reason I imagine them like in Chicago, like
with the
with
basement.
the basement, yeah, with
because
the
we don't have
attic.
basements here.
Yeah, no.
Oh yeah, we have basements.
Yeah.
See, that would be
Where the
dope.
washer dryer goes. Where do you put your washer dryer?
The laundry.
We have a
room.
roof for it.
The laundry room, of course. Yeah.
We have a roof for it. We don't need a whole basement for it. Like no, but I
that's-
love basements.
Basements are cool. It's
Hell
like
yeah.
a whole.
Like a
Yeah.
nice
Except when they're
prepared,
flat.
We used
Except
to
when
hang
they're
out in
flat.
your basement. We used to hang out in your basement.
Yes, that's
like a nice prepared basement could be another apartment. Like you can rent that out if you want.
That's what I lived in. That's my dad. He's
Okay.
your Victor.
Yeah, no, that
He's like,
I
what?
have family.
I'm 6 foot and 6 foot ceilings. That's fine. I'll make it work.
I just need half an inch to squeeze in there.
He's like, I get to rent my other 3 units, the bigger ones. Yeah, of course. So
Of course. He's a smart man. No,
Yes.
he's a smart man.
shout out to John.
So what are your next plans? Where do you see yourself within the next, I don't know, 5, 10, 15 years? Do you want to stay corporate? Do you want to like maybe create your own business? Like what's out there for April in the upcoming years?
Yeah. So, I really wanna turn my focus inward. I've had a lot of professional success and, I'm doing like well for myself. And, there's that question of like, how much is enough? And, when do I think about, settling down and having some kids and, exploring the other side of, myself. So,
Oh,
I
can't wait.
I think that's kind of where my focus is. I have a great job with great benefits. I'd like to take advantage of that. So,
Okay.
and then I think after that, there's a lot of opportunities in consulting and being a professional engineer and, having my own consulting business, having an NWBE firm that can get government contracts, is always something that is on my mind, as someone that handles construction contract or used to handle construction contracts for New York State. When I was doing engineering services, we always struggle to fulfill those MWBE requirements. So minority, women, and veteran-owned businesses, we want at least 15 to 20% of our businesses to come through those companies. And, we struggle every year to meet those goals. And, I see that as an opportunity for myself in the future.
That's awesome.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like that. Any other questions?
I guess that's it for the questions that we have. I guess my only question is that like we have followers that are women, and any tips that you would like to give someone who wants to get in the field and doesn't know where to even get started,
Right. What
because
questions
it's
to
so
ask?
overwhelming.
Right. What questions to
Yeah.
ask or like?
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of there are a lot of opportunities, and I'm just of the belief that if you work hard and you put your mind towards something, other opportunities are going to open up, and I know like it's a hard answer because you could be a chemical engineer, you could be a petroleum engineer, you could be, so it's hard to say like, how do I know what that thing is? I feel like it's more like you get the degree and then you put yourself out there and you see what the opportunities are and, what companies are fit for you. With myself and the New York Power Authority, Edison and Tesla battled over electricity, AC, DC in Niagara Falls, right outside of Buffalo. So to be an electrical engineer and work, where the origins of electricity started, I felt like the New York Power Authority was the company for me, and I just feel like it's opportunities like that, that was like my 20th, 30th interview, and that was the one, so I just feel like you have to put yourself out there and see what opportunities are available, and, luck and timing and, great things can happen. And, I think having confidence in not in yourself, having confidence that you have the ability to learn, that you have the ability to go out there, grasp, get the information, retain the information, and do something with it. It's not confidence that you're the best and you're the greatest, but just a belief in yourself and your own intelligence and your own abilities. And, don't be afraid to ask questions. I ask a million questions. Everybody hates me at meetings because I don't stop asking questions, but you don't know what you don't know. And, I think it's really important to make sure that you're informed and you're getting the information firsthand. So I ask a lot of questions.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like that people don't go after things. Some people don't go after things because of a lack of knowledge and information.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, and there's also the factor of being scared of the unknown too. So it's like, if I don't know something, I'm gonna be scared for it because I don't know. So
Exactly.
do I really want to jump on it? Do I really want to do it? I don't know if I really want to do it because I don't know. I don't know what's going on. So,
right. And that's
for example,
a woman confidence to learn,
Right.
Like, for example, let's say a woman in her 30s right now that might feel like, okay, I had my kids at an early age. Now I want to go after my dreams,
Yeah.
Do you think it's too late for a woman in her 30s?
No, I don't think it's too late at any point. An engineering degree takes 4 years. Like, think about what you were doing 4 years ago and what you could be doing now. The average starting salary is about $70,000. That's double the average salary here in the city of Buffalo. At any point in your life, you can take those 4 years and earn that degree. So I don't think it's too late. I think it's about, what you want and what you're willing to put the effort towards.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I feel like in the United States, everybody has, I'm not going to say, I think everybody has the same opportunity, because I don't think everybody has the same opportunity, but everybody has at least a shot of becoming great at what they decide to do. And, the fact that you knew that you wanted to study something that was math-based, like science-based, and you just went for it, it's awesome, because not a lot of people know at that age, like, what they actually want to do and actually go run with it. You know what I'm saying? You took those unknowns that I was just talking about right now, and you were like, fuck it, let's just keep going. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, if there's nothing for me to follow, then let me be that person that people follow. So that is awesome. And we thank you for doing that, because we need more people like that.
Yes. And for anybody that's struggling like with their age and starting over, my favorite book is The Alchemist, and I think it's a really good book for anyone that is having those concerns about being successful at any point in your life. So
I like that book.
Yeah,
I love that book too. But do you have any questions for us, April? Like, I gotta get in the habit of asking our guests.
You always put the guests on the spot. They're like, they don't even know where to ask.
No, I just want to thank you guys for having me. It's been a pleasure to see your relationship grow and blossom, and now your marriage and your working relationship. It's really admirable. So
thank you.
Kudos to you guys, and thank you for being an inspiration for me. So that's what I'm looking for myself. So.
Same here.
Well,
yes, Spanish love.
All right, guys. So with that, we have kept the 100 with you guys. So make sure to tune in next week. We're going to be live again, 7 p.m. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you follow us on our Instagram. Make sure you follow us on our Facebook. Make sure that you are in the loop because we're doing something different every week.
Yeah.
So see you till next time. Peace.
Bye.